Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a chitty chatty video because I have to take my car for MOT. I have a meeting shortly after and I'm trying to maximize my time. This video is prompted because of all of the things that I have to do shortly, and it's all about how to budget your money. We are all in a pinch right now. Inflation rates are just sky high. The cost of living is crazy, and I just thought I make this video to share with you how I am managing my money and how you can budget your money every single month or however frequently you get paid. So I'm sat on the floor in my living room. I just kind of have a simple setup. Like I'm going to be doing my nails. I've got my nail polish, my iPad, the notes that I'm going to be referring to, my phones, my work phone and my personal phone, and my favorite smoothers because I'm coming down with a cold. And yeah, we're trying to fight all this enemy of progress that is trying to work against me. And then I also have my water bottle here because you gotta stay hydrated. So let us begin. So today is, like I say, it is one of the reasons why I have decided to do this video. I don't know if I've really spoken about how to manage your money or how to budget your money. I share my budget with you guys all of the time. So I am going to be using two nail polish today. These are the two nail polish that I bought. Ghost, I think, from Next, and then I don't know, I think I got this from TK Maxx. These are the two nail polish I'm going to use, and then I'm going to use this top coat onto my nails. So I think the Ghost one is going to go on my FU finger. I like doing that because whenever people are like, oh, your nails look different, oh, this nail is a bit different, I can, you know, give them the finger. Essentially, that's why I like to do it. But yeah, so I have to take my car for MOT today, and I really started thinking about, I was speaking to this lady the other day, and we were talking about how even though everything is going to the pits, we should really be grateful with where we are right now in our lives, because, you know, it's better to be in a positive than a negative. And we were talking about money. This is how it all came about. We're talking about money. There are so many people out there who are a mortgage or a rent away from, you know, homelessness or what have you. And it really did prompt me, and I started talking about how we manage our money, and, you know, we shared some similarities, some differences. And she's an older lady, so I found it really valuable and useful to hear how her mother prepared her for you know, on how to manage her money, which is absolutely interesting to me. I always like to find out how people grew up viewing money and stuff like that. You know, I mean, I grew up with the idea that money doesn't grow on trees and stuff like that. I like almost everybody, and we barely talked about money in my house apart from to say money doesn't grow on trees and all of that good jazz. So yeah, so the first thing that I would say and would encourage you to think about is to understand your income. That's the first thing that I have on my list. Now, some of us are salaried employees, so our income is fixed. There are people who are salaried, but it's not fixed income. So what I would say to you is to look at your income in more of what is the minimum that you can get from your job and stuff like that. And then for those who are self-employed, what's the minimum that you can pay yourself from your business at any one time? Because that's what you're trying to do when you have your own business, trying to think of what's the minimum you can do. And then in times of plenty, you save up as much as you can. In times of less, you rely on the money you saved up in the times of plenty. So it's really important for you to understand what you understand your income, know what is exactly coming in. I'm in a fortunate position in that not only am I a salaried employee, but I also have rental income that comes in first half of the month and the latter half of the month. And with the new rental property, I'm not sure when the tenant pays, but that will be another addition. Then I do have my blog, edgelydreamer.com, which Again, that one is not really frequent or guaranteed because there are months where I make absolutely nothing from the blog, so I don't really rely too much on that one. Whatever I make from that one, I actually send it to my travel goals. So yeah, so I look at all of my sources of income, and I also consider dividends as well as interest that I earn from the accounts, although I don't rely on that. For the dividends, I immediately reinvest the dividends so I don't live on them, and the interest, I just move it to whatever financial goal that I am working on. So that's the first thing. Understand your income. The next part is to understand your expenses. Now, for some of us, we have fixed expenses that we know, like our mortgage or rent, that you definitely know the amount, when it's gonna come out, how frequently you have to pay, and all of that good jazz. So if you know your expenses, you know the money that is coming in is either going to be enough to cover your expenses or not, and if you need to make adjustments in some areas. I think the biggest place that a lot of us can make adjustments in when it comes to looking at our expenses, that is our variable expenses. So, you know, looking at our groceries, looking at dining out money if you have that in your budget, household stuff, all of that is where we can definitely look to cut back, especially in these times as things go up. I went to the shops this morning. I got a few things, and I literally mean a few things. I want to say about 8 items, and it came to £25. And if I include the personal items, you know, like sanitary pads, it all came to just under £30. Like a few things. It's really, for me, I can definitely see it because I was that person who's telling you back in 2021 into 2022 that I allocate £20 a week for my groceries. Now that's getting me a couple of things, like 1 or 2 things, like barely. And I'm not buying designer brands or anything like that. I'm literally just buying the basics, and that's still quite high. So understanding your expenses will help you with managing your money. The third thing that I have on my list is to be aware of upcoming commitments or expenses. So today, like I said, I am going to take my car to get it MOT'd, and I have a feeling it might fail the first round, which means they will need to go and then fix a few things for me, which is additional cost, and then, you know, then it will pass. I know that much. It's only 5 years old. I bought it brand new, so there are only a couple of things that I know that will make it fail, and then maybe I should have sorted them out before, but yeah, well, we pay for laziness, right? And I am definitely going to be paying today, but I am glad that I have a sinking fund where I save up money every single month. Sometimes I put £5, sometimes I have extra money and I put that towards my sinking funds to save for the car. Next month I have my annual car insurance coming up, so every single month when I'm planning my budget, I'm always looking at what are my upcoming commitments. Do I have trips that I have to budget for? Do I have annual bills that are coming up? Is any of my insurances, like car insurance, home insurance, that I pay annually for, coming up due? So you have to look at your own life and figure out, are there any quarterly bills that are coming up? Are there any annual bills that are coming up? Is there anything due that you need to think about? A lot of parents with school children need to start thinking, if not already been thinking, about back to school, because September is around the corner. I know my niece and my nephew go back in September, but I also know parts of the country the kids are going back next week. Some have already gone back. So it's all of these things that you need to think about and plan for. So this is how I manage my money. So this MOT, I already had £100 saved up for the MOT, so I don't think it will cost more than that. But if I have to get certain things fixed, then it might, but hopefully it doesn't. But I did have a sinking fund. This is one of the reasons why I advocate for people to have an emergency fund as well as sinking funds. The fourth thing that I have on my list is to do a mock budget. And I think this is one of the reasons why I have got my notepad here, because for me, every single month, I know how much I'm expecting from my salary, from my rental properties. I don't include Etsy, the blog, or any other sources in there. Those they're extras for me. I budget the ones that I know exactly how much I'm going to get, and I do a mock budget. So I play around with the numbers. The fixed expenses like my mortgage, council tax, my utilities, all of those things are stuff that I know are the same, so it's not going to change. But I play around with other stuff and see if I have more money in my budget to work with or not. So it really does depend on the month. There are months where I don't have to pay for certain things, or I have to travel. And if I'm traveling for 2 weeks out of the month, I know I will not most likely need the entire £200 towards my groceries. I might need 100, maximum 150, because the other 2 weeks I won't be home. So I send that money somewhere else. So it really is important to do a mock budget with what you are expecting to come in. Like I said, for people who don't have fixed income, estimate with the minimum that you would expect to get. That's how I used to do it when I didn't have a fixed income. That's how I did it. So you can do it that way if you want, or maybe you have a better system that works for you. So use that system, but definitely always do a mock budget to see how it's going to look like potentially. And if you get extra income across the month, at least you know that money can either be sent to your financial goals, or it's money that you can use on yourself or whatever it is that you wanted to do. So this is why I love doing a mock budget. And I do one just before I get paid, just before the start of the month, and then I review both of them and see if there are any changes that I need to make to my mock budget, because that is the foundation of what my budget would then be based on. The final thing that I have here, and we're over 10 minutes already, the final thing that I'm going to share is try and find a tracking system that works for you. So I have said many a time on this channel, I have notebooks and I write things everywhere in my notebooks. Every single day I record everything that I'm doing with my money, what I did, and all of that good jazz. For some people that's excessive, and I get that, but for me, I like it. My mom always jokes and says, Miranda's little book, which is, you know, my planners normally, Miranda's little book determines if she's going to give you money or not, because it's true. I am able to see with the money that I have available to spend if I have extra that I can give to other people, if they are parts of my budget that I can adjust and then share that money with other people. So I write things down. That's just how I like to do it. Even my mock budget, the first place it goes is firstly into my notebook. The second place is then when I transfer it to my Excel trackers. You've seen my budget with me videos where I share my real life budget with real numbers every single month. The planners that I've used in those videos I sell on my Etsy shop, which is always linked in the description bar below in case you're interested. But you really need to find a system that works for you. Not everybody will love trackers. Google Sheets, some people love Google Sheets, some people love Excel. Other people just like having a budget book. So whatever. And also a lot of people are also shifting to having almost everything just on their phone. You can use Notion. I don't use Notion for budgeting yet, but there are so many influencers and people in the finance community that I follow that use them, and it looks great. I haven't reached that yet. I'm still with my Excel. My love for Excel is unparalleled. So I'm still on Excel, but you can use things like Notion. You can use the Notes page, Notes app on your phone for those of you who are iPhone users like me. There are so many apps out there that can help you. I think, you know, $1, what is it called? The Dave Ramsey system, I don't know what it's called, but budget every dollar, whatever it's called, that system. You can use that. In the UK, we've got similar apps where you can just connect to your bank and it help you budget that way. But I like somehow to write things down to fill them out for myself for some reason, and when I do that I feel much better, I feel more in control. So I write it down, then I transfer it over. So make sure you have a system that you like, that works for you and is easily accessible to you, so that you can update your financial standing, you know, with your budget wherever you are, and you're able to know if you still have money in your budget to spend or not. So yeah, I think I'll end the video off here. My nails are done. I went for colors that match my natural nail color, so it doesn't look like I've put nail polish on, but I know I do. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, how do you manage your money? How do you budget your money? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.